Virgo, this is your weekly tarot card reading from Born Without Boundaries Tarot. It is for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. This is a huge week for you because Mercury is going into retrograde. It will eventually retrograde back to Virgo, but for this week it is still in Libra. What can you expect to happen with that? Well, since Mercury is your ruling dignitary, expect that things will be, especially, it's almost like when your ruling dignitary goes into retrograde. This will happen when Mars goes into retrograde with Aries too. It feels like there's a little bit of steam that's coming out of you. Or things just take longer. Could even be like you're thinking through quicksand. But that's okay. It is a great time to do research, especially for you. It's a great time for you to take your time. It's a great time for you to go into your little hermitage. It's retrospective work, so it's internal work. It's a great time to meditate or learn other meditative processes like yoga. It's a great time to, even if you, I'm not saying you guys need it, it's a great time to go into some kind of talk therapy. Mercury retrograde a lot, you'll figure out old things. You'll see that things from the past will keep coming up to you. They'll bubble up in your mind. This is because you have to handle them. You have to work through them. There's something about the situation that is still beckoning you. Please pay attention to me. You may not have, it's not about you. We all do this as human beings. Virgo, we will, push things under the carpet, or we'll think we've taken care of things and we haven't gotten it all. And, things will tend to come up for you. Now, this is in particular because Mercury is in Libra. You can expect this to be coming up, especially with your partnerships. If you have any long-term partnerships or you're in a long-term relationship, romantic partnership especially. But it could also be long-term relationships like long-term friends. Things like that usually not family, but definitely long-term friendships, other kinds of partnerships like that could very well be coming up, like issues coming up. Resentments coming up. Resentments get in the way of our blessings. So let's work to accept them and say, hey, why? What does this resentment teach me? Like, what am I feeling? What's making me feel this way? It's a good time to give yourself time for that. It's a good time to take an extra hour every day for yourself. Even more than you usually do. Just take the time. But it's interesting because this retrograde is opposite Jupiter, which means it will be exaggerated and exacerbated. Anything that comes up could be blown out of proportion. There could also be just a lot of flying off the handle, or somebody becoming very verbally, not necessarily abusive at all, but instead over-promising. The tendency, especially on your part, to over-promise or try to talk your way out of things, and where you are normally extremely clever with that, this week not so much. It may not make sense. You may find people like not understanding what you're trying to say, maybe not understanding what they're trying to say, but especially in your partnerships. And this will last for the next 3 weeks, so we'll come back around next week to see what has changed around you, but especially this. And in the beginning of the week in particular, Mercury is also in opposition to Chiron. So for this first through the weekend, and especially around that full moon, it's a full moon in Pisces. Virgo, it's going to be extremely emotional for you. You could count on feelings of, because of that opposition to Chiron, Mercury opposite Chiron, not feeling good enough. Feeling like you'll never understand something, or you'll never be smart enough, or you'll always be behind. Thoughts like this will creep up, especially around that full moon, because that's when Mercury goes into retrograde. I know. And then because it is such an emotional moon, it's such a dreamy mood. It's also a moon that could deal with a lot of sicknesses coming out, a lot of colds, or a lot of schlockiness coming out. So sit in water, sit in a hot bath, allow yourself to calm and relax. Epsom salts take care of you. Give yourself a little extra time. And breathe and try to ground yourself as much as possible. It'll be very helpful to you. The miracles are endless and time for a beginner mind. Hi, right? Okay, clearly the cards are disagreeing with me. It doesn't matter. Let's keep going. Virgo, the miracles are endless is boundless abundance. It's confirming that this abundance is coming in the 3D. So this is about material resources because it's Taurus energy. It also means you're going to be fucking horny as hell. Yeah, because while all of this is happening, Mars is squaring to Venus. So that's just going to exacerbate any kind of clashes you have in your relationship. And you will maybe try to fuck it out. Instead of figure it out, you'll be inclined to fuck it out, if you know what I'm talking about. And I will promise you it won't work. You will fuck it out, but it will not resolve anything. They'll keep coming back up until you actually work it out. That's just the kind of energy it's in. But there's so much tremendous energy around that sensuality. So there's a lot of opportunities for this around this, the sensual pleasures. There could also be a sense of an abundance of like opulence, overeating, money coming in. Be sure how you spend it. And with Jupiter in opposition to Mercury, be sure who you believe, especially because they'll be trying to get your money and sell you tonic water. Time for a beginner mind. Porcupine. So you know on a conscious level that a new start is happening and something new is coming. You're not quite prepared for it, but at the same time you're not willing to let the moment go by. And that's a great philosophy. But porcupine means there's a lot of prickliness. It could mean together that you guys are almost in some ways rejecting a blessing or unable to believe, and this has to do with the beginning of the week especially, and this is probably what you'll be able to purge through the full moon. Not feeling good enough or not feeling ready, not really completely understanding the blessings that are presenting themselves to you, but especially thinking, oh wow, this is too good to be true. Now, that is something that I would say is smart. So it's not that it's too good to be true or that everything is too good to be true. It'll just be more difficult for you to tell the difference. So definitely go slower this week and pick through those tiny details. You are kind of right to be a little bit bristly. But this could also talk about emotions, deep, deep emotions, Virgo, that say you don't feel, the reason why you think it's too good to be true is because you don't feel deserving of it. Or you're not willing to let, or you like it's almost like you feel like you have to suffer for everything. Being particularly hard on yourself, especially in the face of something trying to work itself out. There could also be, in some ways, you're finding like all the blessings come with so many obligations. And so it doesn't feel like a blessing because it's like, okay, I just want a new car. And then I got to pay the taxes on it. And then I got to get the insurance. But the insurance company that I have with my other car doesn't cover this car. So I have to go and I have to get some foreign insurance policy. And oh, guess what? The tire popped on my way home. And now I have to go to a special tire specialist that's 10 miles away because it's a special kind of tire, because it's a special kind of new car. It's kind of that. It's kind of like, yes, there will be abundance coming, but there's all these little bullshit particulars that are going to irritate you about it. And it's not ingratitude. It's not ingratitude. It's Mercury retrograde, and that's the kind of shit that it brings up. And so, is this going to be frustrating for you? Yeah. And to a point, because it's you, because, I mean, you, not just you, but Gemini too, you're so influenced by Mercury, it's going to feel personal. It's going to feel, it's not personal, it's cosmic, but it's going to feel that way. And so it's just emotional, extra emotional strife. And I tell you guys, like, give yourself time over this full moon, please. Overcome any obstacle. This is more Taurus energy. So it's a beautiful message from Spirit to you that says whatever is thrown your way, you will absolutely put it to an end. It's also saying, especially for finances, whatever complications were coming your way attached to the blessings, you'll overcome them. You'll get through them. Rhinoceros teaches us how to go slow, to not be aggressive, because the truth is, everybody thinks rhinoceros are so aggressive. Actually, hippopotamus are the most aggressive non-meat eater, but they'll kill things just for fun, just to bully them. They're really aggressive beasts. Rhinoceros, and not at all. Not at all. They're really docile. They use their horns, I think, mostly during like mating rituals. I don't know. I'm not a biologist, but the bottom line is, or a zoologist, they're not that aggressive. The whole concept of their life is slow and steady. So that's how you will get over things. But you will get over things. But they're also very stubborn. You know, it's like mess with the bull, get the horns, but not in an aggressive way. Just in a sense of, I will not give up. I will endure this. And ultimately, you absolutely will. You will get through it because you will will yourself through it. But go easy on you. Transformation is beautiful. There is an inevitable change that is here. It's transcending from one form to another. So this is a confirmation, and I'm going to go deeper into this. This is a confirmation for you, Virgo, that your life is changing permanently. You're never going back to what you used to be. Something has had a profound change, a profound turnover. Could be you itself. You yourself are suddenly completely different. But I think this is a sense of, something is ended and something new has begun. And it's ended hopefully because of completion. So that, because it's been completed, that could be the double-edged sword of a new beginning. That could be also why you're prickly with this new beginning, because it came with a painful ending. And so let me know in the comments below. I'd love to pray with you. If you need a prayer, I'll send it out to you. This is definitely not any kind of horrible prediction, but it could be anything. The loss of a job or leaving a job. It doesn't have to be like the loss, like somebody took it from you. It could just be, I know it's time. I got to get out of there. I'm not going anywhere with my life. They're not giving me any advancement. It's been 5 years since I got a raise. It's been 10 years since I got a promotion, but I still do everybody else's work. It's fucking time to go. And this would be the time that you would go. It's a little bit bittersweet, and you're a little bit prickly about it because you're a little bit bitter about it, because the truth is this: somebody pushed you out. There was something element about this that isn't so comfortable. It's beyond the change, like how you got to realizing that you needed the change. Let me know how that's working out for you below too. I really would like to know. Just leave the comments and I will read them. Just this sentiment of there's something that you're guarded about, and something that you're a little bit bristly about, and most likely for good reason. But it is a change. It's just not as easy. It is beautiful, I have to say, but it's like the ending wasn't easy. Right? Or easy to accept. Time for a deep dive. This could have something to do, and this has got to do with the Libran energy. This is Libra. Time for a deep dive into your relationship. So essentially, once you have transformed and once you notice this huge change, it will impact your relationship. You might go double down on trying to make it work. That's what it's saying, implying. It's like it's almost opening my eyes to the fact that I need to love harder and I need to love deeper. There is also a sense of this transition could lead you to partnership. A partnership that you don't have yet or haven't had for a while. A sense of when you become somebody new, or when a major chapter in your life ends, you are opened up and exposed to new things. There could be some really beautiful things that you were exposed to, including a new beautiful romance that could be on the horizon for you. But I want to see specifically, why was this ending so difficult? Why was this ending so difficult? Mostly because you were afraid. You were trying to keep things the same, or you would have preferred, because you depended so much on everything staying the same. Or because you were scared of financially throwing yourself into turmoil, didn't want to take many risks. But it's almost like the universe said, nope, got to do it. Or there's some sort of obligation, like a contract that you had to break, which other people were really prickly about or really bristly about. But if it was other people, I'm absolutely sure you're telling them to just go fuck themselves. Because you're not going to give a damn. You're not. There's just other shit that's more important going on for you. Virgo. Virgo. There is always enough, which means there's a shit ton of emotions and a time to heal. There's some toxic emotions. There's also a likelihood of getting some sort of throat infection, nasal infection, lymph node infection, because of this full moon that's conjuncting Neptune, and it's in direct opposition to the sun. So it's almost like it could be your sickness, you getting sick somehow. Not just you, but in general. So just be very aware of that, or just the sense of whatever toxin has built up, especially emotional and psychic. If you have tried to ignore what your intuition told you, it is absolutely going to come out. If you have intentionally tried to ignore it or suppress it, consciously knowing what you were doing, it's going to come out violently and very toxically. But if this has all been subconscious, it's going to present itself like emotional stress, psychic stress is going to present itself as an illness. The stress is going to come out in illness. So definitely get yourself Epsom salts. You want to do anything that will help to kind of like not dry things out, but yeah, like take away swelling, take away puffiness, and help you breathe. Keep that. Yeah, I'm not predicting anything horrible, but I'm just saying this stress is going to come out in some sort of toxicity. It's going to present itself as a cold or something. And that's all going to be part of your process. I didn't even ask. Hold on. Virgo. Chiron. What I tell you, this is double healing. But Chiron heals by putting itself to work for others. Chiron heals by helping others to heal. And so there is that Chiron, and like I said, Mercury is in opposition to Chiron. This is going to be a very troublesome thing. There is some energy here, especially with your relationships, toxicity that you've held deep inside of yourself, that will be coming up. Discussions will be had, and maybe even in some cases, I don't know. What do I need to take here? Why all of a sudden I just stop? Mountain, stand your ground. You're dealing with somebody who's extremely stubborn. And ultimately it's saying that no matter how emotional you get or how much you want to help somebody heal, they can't change unless they want to. And there's a lot of stubbornness here. There's a lot of stubbornness that you're dealing with. There is an energy here of extreme fear. Somebody just doesn't want to let go. And that's causing a lot of illness and sickness inside of them. And you probably already know who I'm talking about, unless it's you. You're already aware of it if it's somebody that's important to you, like a spouse or something. But if it's you, you're not aware of it. And it'll hit you like a Mack truck. Not literally, but it'll all of a sudden hit you this weekend. Well, it just like, you almost shockwaves through your body. Well, you start to realize, holy shit, what, like, is that really me? And you'll try to struggle, because this is the energy of somebody who would try to fight it, try to like wish it away or imagine that it wasn't there. In some cases, somebody has pretending a sickness that they have wasn't there. They've been delusional and they haven't wanted to accept it. Or some kind of condition or situation that is toxic, but not necessarily a disease. It could just be behavioral problems or issues, like I said, in the relationship. Somebody is trying to, they're delusional. They just want to pretend it away, and that's why they're clinging super hard to what they have, because it's almost like when you become in so much pain, if you move even a little bit, you almost feel like you're breaking. Somebody has gotten so fucking stubborn and fixed in their ways, so filled with fear, that they refuse to turn around and even look at something. Tell me who this person is. You don't have to tell me their name, but leave the comments below and let me know. My spouse, my brother, my nephew, whatever it is. There is somebody in your life that is like holding on, gripping so tight, they might break. Let's go into the extended. I will see you guys there.